project on the 700 here, and I finished up the shocks before we went on our last ride, and we have another ride scheduled for right after Thanksgiving, so it wouldn't be right if I didn't have another project to try to get done before we go. So not knowing what the weather's going to be like, and it's already gotten pretty chilly, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build me some, I don't know, call them half doors maybe, instead of call these quarter doors, because they pretty much just cover your feet. So I think I want to build a door so something comes up to here, maybe just a little bit higher. I want to follow this line here across, and then I'll build a new door frame and then skin it with some aluminum. Put a new latch in it. I want to build these completely standalone doors, so that way I can just pull these off, throw these on. I may see how this works. I may go ahead and build an upper frame and maybe plexiglass it or something if I really want some cold doors. I have a heater installed, and it does a great job of keeping our feet warm, but you know, the wind just blows through here, and while it's better than nothing, you know, it still gets cold. So I'm thinking every little bit will help. So if I can get about another foot of coverage out of this door, it'll help keep some of the wind out and some of the heat in, and keep the rain and water out. And I've ordered some clear tarps that would be the size to fit this area and back here in the back. So depending on if they get here in time and how things work out, I might be able to throw at least the back ones on to help keep the wind off the kids, or the rain if it's raining. But biggest thing is if we just keep the wind out a little better, and especially if it's raining, if we can just stay dry, we can stay warm. Everybody that has these knows that they put out a lot of heat from the motor being right underneath the seats, and then with the heat coming out of the heater, it's not too bad in there if you can just keep the wind out. So I'm going to try to build me some new doors, like I said, and we'll get busy here. I'm going to build them out of this is 16 gauge 1x1 square tubing. I have some latches that I hope will work that are coming. They're not here, so I'm just going to try to get the frames built. So I'm going to pull this door off and get started cutting and bending and see where we go. So I get somewhere, I'll bring you guys back and show you what I've gotten done. Alright guys, this is what I've come up with so far. I cut this up here so that I could bend that over. It's kind of a compound bend, so I cut it on an angle to match the body line here, which in turn kicked the top in like I wanted it to. It's going towards the roll bar now, and this bar is out further where I wanted it. It's a little out at the bottom, but I need to tack weld this here because I gotta get a different mount for this camera. You guys flop all over the place. I went ahead and kind of radius this here and cut it so I could bend that around. Then I'll tack this up, weld this together. I don't care if it's too tight of a seam, because I can just let the aluminum skin hang over, and I can just, you know, I don't want the door frame catching on stuff, especially if stuff moves a little bit. So once I get the door frame all where it opens and shuts nice and stuff, and then when I skin it, I can tighten that gap up some by just letting the aluminum skin hang over, because I'm just going to screw it in with some self-tappers or something, at least this time. I can always redo the skin if I don't like it or want to do something different down the road. But I figured this way I can get it done and kind of see if there's any improvements I want to make to it, and I can pull the skins off and cut the frame apart, re-weld it, whatever needs to be done. So, but I like this where I'm ended up so far. But I think next I need to make new hinge plates, get my hinge built, and everything I need to attach it to the door frame, so that I can get that stuff bolted on and the frame tacked in, because I don't want to be building the rest of my door off of this piece that keeps moving every time I touch it. So I want to get my hinges built, get them tacked on, bolted on, so this piece stops moving. And then I'll be able to build off, because I think I'm just going to end up like 45 in this piece up here. And I don't know, depends on, I'll have to see where it comes up here, what it does. I may hold it up high enough that it'll just come straight up, kick it over, and then follow the roll bar up. Maybe what I do. And like I said, I can just let the aluminum skin, you know, come down closer and, you know, make more of a clearance body line type thing, and follow the contours with the aluminum panel, and let the metal frame clear everything so that it opens and shuts nicely, especially if you start getting some mud and junk in there. You don't want it so tight that you have to wipe the door seal out every time you want to shut the door. So good size gap would be nice on that. And like I said, I'll just let the aluminum hang over if I want to tighten up the gaps any. But I think that's where we're at here. This piece ain't long enough, but somewhere up in here. I'll put it up. I want to come out there, maybe even a little higher. I don't know. I might put a straight up piece and run this across there with that body line. I have to see where it ends up, where it looks good. But somewhere in through there, I like that pretty well. But it'll be out here. So I think I'll have to. I think I'll notch the tubing and just weld a piece of pipe in to go around that. And I was thought about cutting this, but eventually I'm going to cut that out of the way, probably, because I think I'm going to redo the cage. But for now, it's good where it's at. So I'll just, like I said, I'll just notch it and put a piece of tube a piece of pipe in the square tube to go around that, and weld that up and then bring it on up and across. I mean, it's only a door. It ain't. These doors are light and flimsy, so they're not really protecting you. They're just keeping stuff out. So it ain't like I got to build this door like a roll cage. So as long as it will hold its shape and shut and stuff. I got a door latch thing coming. I'm hoping that it'll work. It's cable operated, because what I'm hoping is that the clamp will work. I can build something into the door to hold the clamp here, and let the cable come up, and I can mount the door handle on the inside like the factory doors, so I can just reach in and pop that open, and you won't have to clean the door handle off with mud and stuff every time you want to open and shut it. It'll be on the inside, and you can just reach in. Because if I do plexiglass this, I'm thinking about making a slider here, so that way I could just push the slider open, reach in, open the door. But we'll see. Just get the doors built, and we'll go from there. I think I'm gonna call this it for tonight. It's about almost 11 o'clock anyhow, but I need to draw up my plates that I'm gonna cut out for here. So I'm gonna get them drew up and get those cut out, and see about getting some bushings, some brass bushings or something, and trying to get my stuff together to make the hinges. And that'll be the next thing. Get the hinges built so that I can tack them on and go from there. Till next time.
Good morning, everybody. As you can see, it's still about dark 30 out. I don't know if you guys can see anything or not yet. It's still pretty dark, but as you can probably tell, kids have finally given me their cold and I can't sleep, so I might as well head to the barn and get some stuff done for the day. So gonna get me a fire going, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, got the fire going, so I figured I'd get my door hinges cut out. Got the program up here on the computer. I got my torch zeroed out where I want it, and got my steel. So I go ahead and get a couple of these cut out and see about putting these hinges together. Let's see, let's get the plasma cutter on. Let's see, gotta make sure the air's on. Air's on. Alright, we should be good to cut. So it's closed. Gonna re-zero it. Then jog it down. Till it's at the bottom. With a little bit of room. Too far. Turn, slow it down. There we go. Now I just need to re-zero. Tell it to cut. I messed up. That's why you shouldn't leave all your steel laying on the cutting table. Yeah, you always end up cutting over something. There, I think that's far enough. Get it out of the way without cutting through it. And I don't think I moved the original piece, so we'll just go ahead and resume. I don't know why it never re-triggers it when I tell it to resume. It's just going to cut that first circle again. I don't know, I evidently wasn't recording that time, but I got that one all fit up, got it tacked up. I'm going to go ahead and cut the tubes and everything I need to build the hinge part, and then I'll show you what I put in them for a pivot. Alright guys, I'll show you my hinge pieces. What I got here is just a piece of tubing I had laying around, cut off, and this is a piece of hydraulic tubing. It just happened to be almost the right size, so I cut a length of it, and then I drilled this end out to fit this bushing, and I'll just stick it in there. And I got a washer I'll stick on there, and I end up with this: the washer, the bushing, another washer on this end, and then I can just slide it down in there. And weld the washers to the tubing. Then when I loosen the nut up, I'll have a bolt that'll spin inside that bushing. I'll just get a lock nut to put on this end so that I can tighten it up without squeezing it down tight, and that'll be my pivot. Hey everybody, it's a new day here. Actually, it's been several since last time I filmed anything. Got a little bit done, but had a little bit of an accident working over the weekend, trying to clean the leaves out of the gutters, getting ready for winter, and was using a leaf blower, cleaning the gutters out, and it blew some water up on the roof. And I have a metal roof here on the barn, and stepped in a puddle of water and slid off the edge and fell off the roof with a backpack blower on, and landed on my foot and broke 2 bones in it. So I haven't filmed a whole lot because I just
barely been hobbling around anyhow. Didn't feel like messing with the camera. So I'll show you what I've gotten done so far. I got the other hinges, the door mounts cut out and tacked on. This one here is pretty well welded up. Got this one tacked on. Got the whole door frame tacked up across. I still need to add, I'm going to add a piece down here and across to close this in. It was just, I was going to frame it this way, but then I thought if I left this piece solid like this and I put a little bend in it, that would help keep my door on one plane. So when I skin it, this should be fairly flat across here, and then it'll have to bend here and across. But I was afraid if I tried to just cut this off and come this way that I might get it off just a little and then off just a little, and so when I tried to put the skin on, that it would be like rolling up through there. So that's what I've done, and I got the door mount on, and that thing is working like a charm. I'll show you a little more about it. I had to modify it a little bit, had to trim the back off just a little bit, so that way when I skin this, it won't hit. And I'll get the other one out of the box and show you what I had to do to modify it. This is a door latch system for a, I don't know, got it off Amazon. Fits several different things, but I think most of them was like cargo vans. But has the cable and the door handle, and I got the mount stuff cut out here. I'm gonna get this stuff tacked together, and I'll get it tacked up here on the door and put this back together, and then I'll show you where I mounted the handle, and I'll show you how the door works with the latch. It's better than the factory doors because the other doors would rattle. And these are tight. They latch up tight, they open good. I'll show you the door opening and stuff as soon as I get this handle mounted up. So let me get that done and I'll be right back. Alright, got my piece here in the vise. Good, get this tacked up a little bit. Hopefully I can remember, so I laid this out a couple days ago, and hopefully I remember which way ever all the pieces go, so don't tack it together backwards. Nope, that ain't right. So I believe it goes like that. Yeah, probably should tack it together with the matches underneath there. Totally missed. I need me a auto darkening helmet. I'm gonna have to adjust my argon. Had to replace one. Had to go get a new argon tank. Doesn't look like I got the settings quite right. This is a piece that's gonna just go around the handle to give my skin on the inside of the door something that I can screw it up against, so hopefully it's not rattling around on the handle parts. And I don't know, maybe the door skin will be stiff enough I wouldn't have needed it. I could have just cut it out to go around, but this is, and had it backwards. This is the top. Going to go on the door frame up the top, and it's going to hold the door handle on an angle. I couldn't put the door handle, I mean I could have, but I didn't really like the looks of it jutted way out, and I couldn't sink it in the door because the door handle is actually thicker than my 1-inch door was going to be. So I just made a mount to put it on the angle so that the cable would clear and it wouldn't be sticking out. So this is going to go on there like that, and then when I sheet the inside of the door, you know, the panel will come across and down under and back up the other side, and I'll have this to screw to. Let's see how I'll set this so it'll stay put. Ain't really got a good way of putting it in the vise. I'll be able to put it clear out here. Clear me a spot and work on the table. I really need to clean up my garage. That's kind of hard in the middle of a project. Constantly getting stuff back out. And I just honestly don't feel like walking around that much. There we go. That's how I wanted it. That's a pretty good fit, if I do say so myself. But I mean, you know, it's good enough for its for. Boy likes to open and shut those doors, so I figure better add a couple more good tacks. There you go, you can kind of see I got it tacked on there. I went ahead and decided to just go ahead and finish welding this bottom corner here, and I welded everything else on the inside while I could get to it, and that way the less grinding and stuff, clean stuff up. And I ended up cutting this piece back off because I didn't want those welds on the outside because it might be in the way of my metal when I panel the inside. So I just cut it off and tacked them on the inside. So that's how I should have done it anyhow, but got that on there. Go get the door handle put in. Pretty easy, just got this clip in the back. Stick it in there. Pull the ball out. You gotta get the ball and the handle on the inside. I doubt you guys can see that. I can barely see that. But once it's in there, then you just push that clip back down. It's in there. Got a couple sheet metal screws here. There we go. The cable be in the door. Works great. Show you guys the latch. Oh yeah, I was gonna pull that other latch out of there so you guys can see what it looks like. Come on. There we go. Have a seat here. There's the latch mounted. It's just tacked for now. It's working. Here's what the door handle's going to look like. The door opens clear up. I mean, it opened further than that. The ground cable caught it. But I mean, ain't no need to swing it around that far. See what you guys can see here. Just latch is good. Now I had a tab that stuck out here, and I had to trim this off because it hit on the back here and didn't let the door shut far enough. So I trimmed that off. I had to trim that off to get it to fit. Like I said, I rounded this. I'm not sure if I really needed to or not, but I rounded this back corner here off just to make sure it would clear, because it stuck out just a little bit further, because my panel is going to go across here. And I had some bolts, metric, to fit. I'm not real sure what the thread is. I'm going to take one of those out. So it's the only two I had. But I also needed to this is a plastic piece, but it's got a metal insert in it, and I just had to use, I used a little rotary file and in my drill even, and just trimmed just a little bit of plastic off, because it just wasn't quite big enough around, but it was just a little bit is all it took for it to fit, and it works good. I like it. Like I said, it latches better than the factory door latches, because they have plenty of rattle in them. I ain't got nothing in it. So this door here, I don't know. I gotta get this bottom piece on here and get that cut out and put on. But I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and cut the panel and see how it lines up, see if I got my measurements and my drawing drew up right in CAD, and see if I got that right. And if that works, then I'll just build this to make sure that it fits the panel I have drew up for it, and then get that cut out, welded. Then I'll weld up the whole door. And I'm just going to use some more of those screws to screw that. The outside panel is going to be aluminum. And screw that, well, both panels are going to be aluminum inside and outside. And I'm just going to screw them on. And that way I can take them off to get inside the door if I need to mess with anything or whatever. So that's what I'm using for now. So pretty much there. I'll get you guys back when there's something else exciting to see. So we'll catch you in a bit.